Hello there guys and welcome back to the channel. Now long awaited update about Bullseye and White Tigers here. Now it's needless to say that Kabam is heavily behind this, so this is well overdue, but at the very least it is here. Now, now the general too long don't want to listen the entire video will be Bullseye is getting a defensive tune down that's also a tune up, a change basically. And White Tiger is effectively staying as is, no extra buffs announced. So let's break down the Kabam post and react to it, see what we agree with and what we disagree with. However, let's start with MCOC team says. Balanced team here again with an update of the latest round of champions up for review, Bullseye and White Tiger. Bullseye joined the contest aimed at being a threatening skill defender with his attacker kit regarding a handful of annoying defensive mechanics in miss, evade, and power sting. After reviewing his performance as an attacker, we're happy with what we're seeing in regards to the target matchups. That's bullshit. Nobody's happy with Bullseye offensively. Nobody has ever been happy with Bullseye offensively outside of some sort of mega specific scenarios and nodes and incursions or somewhere. Bullseye sucks offensively, but I have a feeling that they will say that they are happy with Korgon attack. Because let's face it, Bullseye is not intended to be an attacker. He will likely never be an attacker. Right. His damage is consistent across the board, and his signature ability synergizes incredibly well with Recoil 3. As a defender, Bullseye immediately made an impact in both Battleground and Alliance War metas. The tricky gameplay surrounding his Killer Instinct ability was designed to disrupt the loops of attackers lacking answers to his evade. On top of that, his constant barrage of critical hits and bleeds through block also contribute to Bullseye's strong performance as defender so far. Well, that is true. He's very annoying on defense. When reviewing his defensive performance over multiple Battleground and Alliance War seasons, we have seen players look to a handful of champions to effectively take down opposing Bullseyes. Whenever we're looking at his performance data, we are seeing one outlier that we would like to action on. As a defender, Bullseye's opponents are taking too much damage per second over the course of the fight, while opponents who are bleed immune are performing as we'd like versus Bullseye. We're seeing non-bleed immune opponents being punished at too high of a rate. Now, this is the type of thing that makes me believe that these balances are bullshit. Because amount of damage that opponents are taking per second sounds like such a specific stat that should not necessarily be the deciding factor of whether the champion gets tuned down offensively or defensively. Either way, while his opponents are bleeding, okay? To address this, we're adjusting the frequency that his instant bleed damage is inflicted on defense. Instant bleeds will no longer trigger when avoiding a basic attack with dexterity. They will still trigger when avoiding special attacks. We're not expecting non-bleed immune attackers to finish fights with him against full health, but the average they should be leaving with a bit more than they are now. Now, I don't like this. I don't think this is a meaningful change at all. I don't think it will matter much. Because for most part, Bullseye is typically very willing to throw that special attack once he gets. And really, you're only evading his basic attacks when you're trying to bait out special attack, which is a very minor instance in a fight, typically. You're taking the bleed damage from his level 1s when you're basically blocking large parts of it or evading. So, you didn't take damage before on parry, you don't now. I don't think this changes much at all for Bullseye. Because always, whenever you bait, even when you bait out special attacks, you could always just kind of parry and, stay there. It was a bit harder to do, but you could still avoid, dexing his basic attacks for the most part. On other note, Bullseye currently, his special 1 hits are acting as contact hits when they should be projectile hits. The biggest impact from this change will be felt in the Warlock and Archangel matchups. Warlock will no longer inflict virus charges on Archangel and will no longer inflict poison debuffs on blocking Bullseye special 1. We have had this bug logged on Trello for a while now and are planning on releasing the fix alongside his rebalance. This is kind of funny because I think Bullseye is just going to be better defender now, which is like the exact opposite of what everybody expected. I don't think the change that they're making as part of the balance update is meaningful at all. I don't think it will serve any impact to the game. But I do think this matters because Archangel and Warlock are some of the common champions to fight against Bullseye. So, if I'm saying that Bullseye is getting a tune down, I think in reality, in practical application of which champions can take Bullseye and Valions, which champions are going to be good for Bullseye and Lions War attack, we're going to have less options now, for now, anyways. So I'm not going to say that I think Bullseye is getting a tune down defensively. I think Bullseye is going to be a bigger problem than he was before. That's my personal opinion. Obviously, we need to play through that and figure that out. Who knows? However, yeah, it doesn't quite feel right. And then lastly, White Tiger. White Tiger was designed as an aggressive mystic attacker who towards a high-tempo playstyle equipped with utility targeting towards defenders who weaponize power gain and regeneration buffs. We were hoping to see players use her effectively versus defenders such as Gore, Visionarchus, and Hulkling. So far, we're happy with how Ava is performing, and she's landed in a healthy spot in the meta in regards to her usage as well as her effectiveness in her targeted matchups and general ones. I'm also happy with how she's landed as a defender, mostly punching anyone who is unprepared to manage the power gain in her signature ability. Reminder, make sure you either finish the fight off before the 15% health mark or bring champions who control ability power rate. No changes incoming to White Tiger. Another thing that I heavily disagree with. I think White Tiger is close being a good champion. I think she's incredibly fun. I have a 7-star duped White Tiger. I tremendously enjoy using White Tiger. I just don't think she's good enough. I don't think she has good enough matchups because nobody gives a shit about Gore or Visionarchus on defense. And Hulkling already has plenty of counters without White Tiger being one. The fact that she struggles against champions like Maestro or some of the other newer defensive threats just means she doesn't have large pool of great matchups that are currently needed. If you're taking a look at the best champions we need to go up against, then White Tiger doesn't match up well against a ton of them. So there's just missed opportunity as far as I'm concerned. I think they should have changed White Tiger a little bit. Maybe balance her slightly, give her an extra ability or something. A huge change would be if her power gain was not affected by ability accuracy, therefore she could take on glancing champions like Maestro. But it is what it is. And then there are no additional buffs because Kabam's yet again changed the buff program, so we're not getting any tune-ups, any other buffs. So the only timeline is that in August, Bullseye is going to get full release with his changes. There's no testing, no nothing. And effectively, yeah, that's it. That is what we were waiting for such a long time. Bullseye is going to stay as is, basically, and White Tiger is staying as is. Okay, Bullseye is getting a slight tune-up. Again, I think he's just going to be slightly more annoying because we can't use Archangel as effectively anymore. And Warlock as effectively, so. I don't know. I kind of feel like the balance team does not understand the game. Or there is a whole different set of criteria for them that they're not telling us. Because the decisions they're making on champions make very little sense. So I said 2024 champions so far suck. And we're seeing no meaningful improvements with them. And one of the bigger hopes again was like Bullseye getting addressed defensively somewhat, because it does feel crap to play against him. His Awade feels crap. His Awade should be subject to ability accuracy reduction. It isn't. Those instant bleeds will be just about as annoying as they were before. And it's disappointing. It really is. Mediocre champions staying mediocre. Pains in the bums staying and remaining as big of pains in the bum, if not bigger. What's the point? Like, what's the point of the balance program at this point? They hardly balance anything. Like, when is the last meaningful balance change that they did? Shocker, I guess. And there have been so many champions should have gotten balanced. Bullseye offensively should have gotten improvement. defense should have been affected more. Hindered offensively should have gotten buffed up. So many champions that Kabam could have made viable and just looked over. I know, let me know what you guys think, but I'm getting kind of more and more disheartened with this entire thing. I'll catch you guys soon. Bye-bye. Hello there guys, and welcome back to the channel. So we have all the information about